Analog versus digital.
It's 8:34.
All right. We're not spending more than 5 minutes on this.
Okay.
All right. Analog versus digital. You two are filmmakers. You're both squarely in the digital camp.
To an extent. I'm in the camp that as long as you're creating art, who cares?
Okay. That's a good point.
I'm in the camp that if you don't have a really high budget and can afford fully professional gear, then film is a complete nightmare to actually work with and use. I love the aesthetic of film, but I truly believe digital has got to the point where it can achieve the same aesthetic, and it is so much easier to work with. And I think it actually opens up more creative possibilities because you're not stressing over every second you're running the camera.
Really? Because I'm stressing over every second I'm running the cameras. I had a catastrophic failure because I forgot to plug the extension cord in.
But imagine if it was costing you $10 a minute.
I wouldn't be doing podcasts. Right, that's... Digital, to me, the digital has a lot of big upsides. And I look at digital from a music standpoint. I choose to make things analog when I can. Now, that's because, I can do it on cassette. And these are not terribly expensive for a box of 10. And these are sufficiently high quality. It doesn't sound like half inch, doesn't sound like inch, doesn't sound like 2-inch. It sounds like cassette, but it sounds good. But I'm with you on this. It is terribly inconvenient. It's way harder to make duplicated tapes of an analog recording than it is to make CDs of a digital recording. So, to me, I don't agree with you that the aesthetic is identical. But you're right in that if you don't have budget, it makes sense. We've done a lot of Freeform Fridays digital.
I think there's often, I think as film goes, working with film can put you into a different mindset that because it needs to be used sparingly, you take more care with everything that you do.
Every frame.
Where with digital it becomes cheap. You can spend a long time throwing ideas around. That can be a benefit, but the fact that it's precious with film can also be a benefit.
Sure.
Yeah, at the end of the day, I mean, you can write a book with a pencil, you can write it in a word processor. At the end of the day, what's the book? Like, what's the project that you did? That's way more important than how you did it.
Mm-hmm.
It's true. Though, Autumn, have you ever written a book on a typewriter?
No.
Have you ever had the urge to write a book on a typewriter?
No.
Or a longhand, for that matter.
No, you don't have as much creative control, as you have with a computer.
Okay.
Because you can just, go back, move things around. It just is, a waste of time. I know some people prefer to, write it longhand because, they can focus better. But, you actually use two different parts of your brain, when you're writing longhand and when you're typing.
Mm-hmm.
And I feel like it's just more malleable when you can type on the computer.
That makes sense. I just want to point out the road was written on a typewriter.
Well, Cormac McCarthy is an artifact.
Yeah. Well, I mean, the question is, do you think the quality of literature has increased over the last, let's say, 50 years?
That's really hard to judge because the volume of literature has increased so much.
And the volume of everything's increased. There's way more video, right? Where before it was just movies, now you have YouTube where there's 400 hours uploaded every minute.
It's definitely changed, too. Stuff that was, I don't think, people like Faulkner could, get published today because, the way our media is and, television stuff, we have visual representations for things that we didn't before. So, the writing is a lot faster and it's, less descriptive. But I don't know if that really is, necessarily, the quality of it. It's just, less heavy, kind of like old movies, had longer shots.
Okay.
There was a very angry director, somebody of note, who I don't remember who it was, so I won't say. I'm not sure that I've got the name right. But he said something along the lines of, he was upset about a movie that he had done that did not do well with critics, and he thought that it deserved to do better. And he said, if if David Lynch were to start his career today, he would make Eraserhead and score a 35 on the tomato meter and be laughed out of the rest of his career. And I think that the medium has changed in that way.
That's right.
Yeah, the
That's-
filtering process is so dramatically different now. Because a lot of what we think of as the great literary works from the past, I can't imagine making an impact on any level in the modern landscape.
That's right.
Like,
We're going to hold off on the giveaway. I forgot to do the giveaway
Okay.
because we're past.
Yeah.
After all that talking about it.
After
I
all
did.
that talk. But the Jazz is... So next week, we'll do the giveaway.
I mean, we could do it. Well, it'd take 5 minutes to talk about it, right?
Well, I just don't want to edit it. The reality is I have to do one... This has to go up tomorrow. I have to be able to throw this in. This is why we're doing screen cap of a keynote, so I can just drop the video from the cameras directly onto that.
Okay.
I just don't have the resources to go fix this podcast. Steven's podcast, which is recorded digitally and happily so, is he takes great care and edits it and fine tunes it. I throw these together because I have to. Otherwise, I will obsess. Freeform Fridays take me 4, 5, 6 hours a week at a minimum. I don't have that. I can't. And imagine an hour and a half.
You put out so much content, though.
I do. I put out a lot of
I
content.
mean,
I'm a maniac.
I put out a novel once a year.
I thought you did. I thought you did 3 novels in a year.
I've never done 3. I've done 2.
Because it seems or you did One Night Stands, and then did you do the collection of short stories right after that?
Thicker Than Water and One Night Stands came out within a couple months of each other because I was writing them at the same time.
Yeah.
And then it wasn't too long later, I think, before I wrote whatever the next one that I came out with was.
Boom.
But,
there it is.
But it
So
wasn't.
you released,
It wasn't within a year.
Really?
No.
I was going to call you a liar and then declare the debate over. What's next?